Can an insurance company refuse to insure your car? One insurance company can refuse you cover, but all cannot, as in Ireland you are entitled to a reasonable quote and offer. I was interested in the international view on this and give some insight as to what happened in Ireland. Firstly, one must understand that it is a driver and car combination that is insured in Ireland, not just a driver or a car but a specific combination. This combination means that there is a vast difference in price and options when seeking insurance. Some companies felt they did not want to take on higher risk combination and just cherry-picked the low risk. This further distorted the market as the higher risk was carried by fewer operators, as some operators refused insurance. So the government stepped in to ensure that, once there was no legal impediment to issuing insurance, then people would be able to get insurance. So TJE current position in Ireland seems to be that one insurance company can refuse but all cannot, so that people will be able to obtain insurance. Never having had to resort to using this, I am unclear how it works, and maybe some car driver combinations will not get covered. I am thinking of young driver and high power sports car. I think it is a good thing, as it means no one has an excuse not to have insurance. This is an extract. Under the agreement, the insurance market will not refuse to provide insurance to an individual seeking insurance, if she has approached at least 3 insurers and has not been able to obtain cover from them. An insurance company can refuse, or to use a more polite term, decline to insure your car for many reasons. The most common have to do with your driving record, or the type of car you own, but they could decline you coverage for any reason, some having nothing to do with anything you have done. An insurance company could decide they are insuring too many drivers of a certain demographic, zip code, age, etc., and decide to stop writing policies to bring the risk profile of their customers back to a level they feel comfortable with. Insurance is about risk and managing risk, and insurance companies have an interest in not being overrepresented when it comes to certain risks and managing their exposure to unexpected events. It might be in the interest to only have a certain percentage of their policies relative to their total number of policies in California because of the threat of an earthquake that could generate a very large number of claims suddenly, or in a dangerous flood zone, etc. Assuming they are willing to write policies there, they might become stricter on their underwriting standards in that area, because they want to limit their exposure to that area by having relatively fewer policies there if they already have a lot. Yes. All insurance carriers have underwriting risk parameters. If you, as a driver, or your vehicle do not fit into a company's underwriting guidelines, they will decline to insure you as a driver for liability coverage and/or your vehicle for comprehensive collision coverage. In most cases, however, they can provide you with alternative resources, companies who can insure you as a driver for liability and/or your vehicle for comprehensive collision coverage. The cost of the insurance will likely be higher due to the specificity of the risk. For example, your liability coverage may cost more because you are an inexperienced driver, young, or have a DUI or traffic violations on your record, making you a high risk. If you have an exotic or specialty vehicle, e.g., 75-year-old classic car or a DeLorean for which repairs or replacement would be almost impossible, you will probably be directed to a specialty insurance carrier and will pay a higher premium for comprehensive collision coverage. Sad but true, there are several legal reasons why a carrier may decline to write auto coverage on a vehicle. One is that the vehicle might be especially expensive to repair, or parts may be extremely difficult to find, or even generic replacement parts. Another could be inexperience, e.g., person under age 25. The insured has a history of switching carriers, say every 6 to 12 months, had coverage with other carriers lapse for a significant amount of time, had a bunch of at-fault accidents, moving violations, DUI convictions over say a 3-year period. Or the insured had committed fraud on previous coverage. Overall, these are excessive risks that a carrier will not want to assume, at least not without charging very high rates. Since auto coverage is mandatory in most U.S. states, most likely the carrier declining coverage would be obliged to provide information on how to contact what states used to call their assigned risk pool, where you would be assigned to a carrier and pay extremely high rates. Most likely you would stay in the pool for 3 years, so it would behoove you to work on improving your record so that you can obtain a standard risk policy at lower rates from the carrier of your choice. However, it is my understanding that carriers in the U.S. are prohibited from declining based on race, ethnic background, gender, religion, creed, or sexual orientation.